ready? Yes.
Maya? Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh my God, you made it. It's another episode of We Did That Shit.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Babi.
Hey, you made it back.
Hey, Maya. We're
Hey,
back for another
girl.
week.
Another week of the podcast. So how was your week?
I had a good week. I had a very good week. And I'm not going to tell you what I did this week until we get into the topic because it's take 2 and it kind of goes with the topic.
Oh, okay.
But I had a good
week. Okay. So I was going to say, you want to finish that up with something? So
I did have a good week. I'm a little under the weather right now, but I'm pushing through. But I had a good week. Because the podcast
still got to get done.
I mean, we still got to do that shit. Shit got to get
done. Right.
How was your week?
My week was pretty good. I, coming back off of the birthday trip and all of the issues that I had getting home with planes delayed. So this week I really just relaxed. I did a lot of relaxing, just try to catch up on some sleep because, I'm old now. I don't have it in me like I used to stay up all hours of the night and party and drink and bullshit and then get back up and just could do it all over again. I don't have that in me no more. So I have to recoup, from what I when I was partying. I got to recoup from that. So that's pretty much what I did all week. I just relaxed and worked out, and you know how I feel about that. But we are getting it done. I started that 90-day challenge, but it started before I went to Jamaica. But I didn't start until I came back because realistically, who's going to be on any kind of challenge, diet, workout plan when you're on vacation?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
So I didn't start until I came back because I want to be successful at it, and I know I wouldn't be successful if I would have did it before the trip. So I'm working on that. Did some meal prepping, cook some stuff up, and I'm trying to really be, diligent to that. So that's how my week was.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm happy to hear it. I'll tell you why later. What is the topic again?
So the topic this week is going to be what we were supposed to talk about last week when our topic was don't date if you can't date. This is us talking about the topic. Because, last week we got sidetracked, which is fine, and we started talking about our who did some shit, and I had that wonderful video that we talked about, and that gave us the whole time for the show. So this week we're going to talk about our topic. Don't date if you can't date.
Yeah, that you caught me with that video, and I still need some forensics going on to take out the background noise and to play up her voice and things like that. But I still think that what I was thinking is right.
Oh, you saw the video?
I saw the video, and so I mean, I don't want to get back into it because we're going to get to the topic this week, but I still stick to my guns. That girl knew something.
Okay. You entitled to your opinion.
Right. So before we get into the topic, who did some shit this week?
Oh, let's see. So my who did some shit this week, I don't know why I keep finding the I don't know, I'm not finding any good things of who did some shit. And not that it's not good things going on in the world, and what I'm about to talk about is not even like it's so bad, but it's funny. So, we got Instagram for the show. I never had Instagram prior to us doing the podcast because I just was like, all right, I got Facebook, I got Twitter, I'm active on Twitter. It was just too much social media. So I just was like, no, I'm not going to get Instagram. But then when we started doing the show, you got to get everything. So I got the Instagram, and I remember this boy on this other podcast that I listened to saying that Instagram was like a rabbit hole it was like once you start looking on Instagram, you could get lost in it for hours. And I was like, how the hell are you going to get lost in Instagram for hours? But he wasn't lying. It really is. So when I'm going on there to post for the show, I start looking at something, and that leads me to something else. And that led me into my who did some shit. So while I'm on Instagram, I just find it funny that everybody on the internet is rich. I didn't know that it was so many rich people in the world until I started getting on Instagram. Everybody got money. Everybody is partying. Everybody is, like, living this grandiose life. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what is going on? Because some of the people, I ain't even going to hold you, I know them. So I'm like, I know you're not living like that outside of Instagram, but cool, cook. Do you? You know, if that's what you're into, fronting for the gram, do you? But I just find it funny. Yeah, I just find it crazy funny that, like, everybody on not just Instagram, but I guess it's just on social media, period, because you see it on Facebook, you see it on Twitter, you see it everywhere. Everybody is just crazy rich, having these good times. And, you know, they had a study out that said that Instagram makes people depressed. And it's because they're looking at people having this great life, and then they're thinking, damn, my life is not like that. But I just want people to know
their life is not like that.
Yes, exactly. Like, it just reminds me of the time. Remember when we was in Grand Lux? We were sitting in Grand Lux eating, and then
the
all of a sudden, it was like a group of people. They was younger. They got up and they started taking pictures in front of the fireplace, and they posing, like doing all these. It was like a photo shoot, and you was like, "What the hell are they doing?" And I was like,
I mean, they left their food, everything, and I did not believe you. Remember that? I was like, "Shut up!"
Yeah, he was like, "What? Ain't nobody doing that for the internet?" And I'm like, "No, they're doing it for the gram. Like, it's like posted up. You know, it's like I was talking to my sister, and she was saying that it was restaurant week in Philly. So I was like, oh damn, I'm so mad I missed that. When is it over? She said when it was over, and it wasn't going to be the time when I was in town. So I was like, damn. And it reminded me again of this boy on social media. One time he was like, yeah, you know, restaurant week is for suckers who want to go to restaurant week. If you can't spend the money, don't go. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you want to spend $300 at a restaurant just so you could post a picture on the gram to seem like you live in this grandiose life, instead of going for restaurant week and spending $50 on the same meal. Like, the object should be to save money, not spend money. But again, cook. So that just reminded me, all of those things just brought me back to that rabbit hole that I got locked in, to see that everybody is rich for the internet. And I just find it fascinating. You know, it's fascinating to me. I just be looking like, wow, look at y'all. Well, look at that. Everybody hopping private planes on islands, you know, like eating these. And I'm thinking to myself, what do y'all, like, not even like what you do for a living, but if you rich like that, how can I get down? That's kind of really how I'm looking at the pictures.
I mean, how are you fronting on private planes, though?
I mean, listen, it's the same way that you front, I guess, on, but I'm not saying these people are not taking private planes. That's not even a thing, because you could jump on a bandwagon with somebody else. You can jump on their plane, anything. Right. You'll never know who you exposed to. And then also, it's just like if I'm walking down the street and I see a Bentley and I'm like, yo, take my picture in front of this Bentley. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, people do strange things for the internet.
They do. They really do. And you mentioned Bentley, and I was talking to somebody. They was like, yeah, I'm going to get me a Bentley. And I was like, you are? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, if I had a Bentley, I would not drive. Like, who rides around looking for a parking spot in a Bentley? Like, I wouldn't drive. I would get chauffeured everywhere if I had a Bentley.
Right.
Like, this is dumb to me. Like, but, to each their own. I'm not going to talk about anybody. So do it for the gram, y'all. Do it up for the gram.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Goals. You see pictures, you say goals.
Right. Hashtag goals, right? Exactly.
Right. I got nothing. I don't know. Well, my who did some shit this week is about the city of Cincinnati. and they have a campaign called hashtag Kind Flash. And what they do is they put random care packages any and everywhere all around the city. And they say that the need for care packages are higher in the winter months. So they said lately they've just been seeing a lot more care packages popping up. And they said they had one care package. It was like in a waterproof Ziploc bag, and it was tied around a pole with a red ribbon. And it says, "If you're cold and need a hug, please take me with you." And inside was a fleece sweatshirt and some socks. I thought that was so nice.
That was so nice. So it's just random notes on these care packages, like that note, because I was going to say, how do the people know that they get the care package, or even if they're in need, like how do they let them know that the care package is there for them? So, but now that makes sense. They have notes.
Yeah, it just says inside the bag there's a paper. It says hashtag Kind Flash, and then whatever message the people want to write, and then whatever is in the bag. Like people put whatever they want in the bag, and I just thought that was really nice. I used to volunteer at a drop-in center for the people who are street sleepers, so they can come in from like 3 to 7. And I mean, they can get warm, get a snack, play a game, socialize with their friends and stuff like that. It just gives them something to do so they're not outside. And it was a lot of women in there. And, and I just talked to a couple of girls, and I asked them, like, what do you do when it's that time of month? And they be like, girl, it's crazy to find a bathroom, this and that, whatever. So the next time I went, I just started bringing feminine hygiene products because, I just can't imagine, being out on a street trying to take care, you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So I think this I just thought this was really nice. So kudos to the people in the city of Cincinnati and their hashtag Kind Flash program. I think that's
kudos
wonderful.
to them. I hope, we would hope that all big cities or small cities or whomever adopted that that program, because that's something to strive for. And so, kudos to them.
Yeah, and the world goes around on random acts of kindness. It's just how
you are so what is the word I'm looking for? Optimistic,
we need these things, random.
No, we do need them, but
what would life be without
very
random acts of kindness?
I don't know, but I think that if even 40% of the world thought like you, we would be in a better place. But what's a shame is that they don't, and hopefully they start, because I can't even say that I think like you a lot of times. But yeah,
you're very nice. I got good mail. I thought that was so cute.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was real. And look, when I saw your handwriting. Yeah, I remember when I saw your handwriting, I was excited because I know, like you, like me, you read cards. I was like, oh, my, buy good cards. I would read this card. And then when it said good mail, I was like, oh, my goodness, that is so nice. Yeah, I thought that was
paying attention.
Thank you.
Look at that. Look at that. And that day I sent out a couple of different things to some people that were down and just needed a little lift up, And so, yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
See, random acts of kindness. That's right.
Yes, exactly. Here we go. So anyway, let's get into our topic for this week, because last week, we didn't get into it. And we hope that you enjoyed the show, even though we didn't get into the topic, because some days we might just have that kind of show where we just go off the rails and just start talking, and we hope you enjoy it. But this week we are definitely getting to our topic, don't date if you can't date. And I wanted to start this off by just seeing what both of our opinions were on what is a date. Like, what do you consider a date?
I consider a date to be an outing. I think a date is something that when you plan to spend time together. Friends have lunch dates. Kids have play dates. If you're interested in somebody, you have romantic dates. That's a date. that's a date. And there, no matter who it is, there are some things that all dates have in common,
Mhm.
or that they should have in common. So it's more than one person,
Mhm.
a plan, a location,
Mhm.
an activity, a good time, mutual respect, and we'll see if we'll do it again.
Okay.
So pretty much all dates kind of have that, right? So that's what I
Right.
think a date is. That's what I think a date is.
Okay.
So what do you think is a date?
Well, I don't even know if I can say anything after that. I mean, that was thought out a little bit. No, I think that a date is because in this instance, in this topic, we're talking about romantic dates between
Okay.
two people that are romantically involved with each other or want to be romantically involved. I don't even want to say that they are romantically involved because, you go on them online dates, you go on, you might meet somebody in the grocery store and they ask you for a date, and it happens. So that's not necessarily somebody that I'm romantically involved with. That's just, a date. So I think a date is just something, like you said, that's planned out. There's nothing wrong with spontaneity. If you just meet somebody randomly and you say, hey, you want to go grab some coffee right now? But that's a date. It's a plan. We're going to a specific place, I think that a date is, like you said, two people coming together that have mutual respect for one another, that are trying to get to a common goal, and that common goal is to have another one or spend time with each other. It doesn't always work out like that, but, that's what I think a date is. What I don't think a date is, because that's going to be my next thing, and I'll just get into that. What I don't think a date is like, oh, you just come over to my house and we have nothing planned out, because you can have a nice date in the home, but if you don't have anything planned out and you just want me to come over and sit on your couch and watch TV, that's not a date. That's just two people getting together. And we
Netflix
just going
and chill
over.
is not a date. That's right.
Right. And I mean, like, here's the thing. Are we Netflix and chill with, like, okay, the new Dave Chappelle comedy special came out. I'm going to cook us dinner. We're going to have the dinner at the table, and then we're going to sit down and watch the Dave Chappelle comedy show. I'm asking you if that's something that you would like to do. That could be considered a Netflix and chill date, but not like, yo, what you doing? Nothing. Come over. All right, we're going to watch the Dave. You want to watch it? And not even like we going to, but then I get over there, you want to watch the Dave Chappelle comedy special? And I'm like, yeah, all right, go ahead, put it on. That's not a date.
I agree. And I feel that if we're talking in the romantic or courtship type sense, Netflix and chill is something that has to be earned.
Right.
It's something that has to be earned. I'm not coming to your house the first probably like 5-6 days. I'm not coming to your house. And you're not coming to mine. Because if we're going to go on dates, then let's date to see if we like each other. You don't have to get all of that. I'm not cooking for you. I think cooking is very intimate. I like cooking. I express myself through food. I like the food to taste good, to look pretty. I put a lot of thought into it. And I'm not just cooking for anybody.
Right.
So, and I think cooking is very intimate. So there are some things that I'm just not going to do for a stranger. I'm just not going to do it. So, yeah, I agree. Netflix and chill is not a date. Netflix and chill is something like when y'all been together for this amount, like a year or two, whatever. Oh, hey, you coming over? We chilling? Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a whole year, but some people, you never know. It just depends.
I was going to say, I mean, like,
it doesn't have to be a whole
year. I was just going to say, what are these 5 dates that we're having before you? And I mean, like, I'm not saying that I disagree with you in anything. I'm just saying for people that are listening, what are these 5 dates that we're having? Like, are they 5 dates like every week we're going on a date before we get to the Netflix and chill, or like what? Because a year is a long time before you Netflix and chill. After 5 dates, I might. What?
You might.
I might really, no, what I was going to say is after 5 dates, I might really like you. And I'm just like, oh, you know what? I don't feel like doing nothing tonight. Come on over. And it turns into Netflix and chill. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And not just that, because this gets into my week. And I mean, this happened literally in 7 days, start to finish in 7 days. So
this should be very interesting.
So
Because I don't even
I went
feel
on
like
a
I
date.
heard this before. Okay.
I went on a date.
You did?
I went on a date
Okay.
with a guy that I met at the Wawa.
Listen, before you even finish the story, what is going on at this Wawa, and why am I not there? Because even though they might not transpire into anything, you sure are meeting a lot of men at the Wawa.
I am, and you know what? I don't even go to that Wawa anymore. So I go to the Wawa.
Why are you blocking your blessings?
Oh my goodness.
You blocking your blessings. But go ahead.
I need a pause for a second. First of all, so I met him at the Wawa.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him, you know, I wasn't really like my type when you give him the fast glance or whatever. I went there, got my coffee. I was ready to go. So when I was coming out, he was coming out behind me, and he spoke to me, and I was like, good morning, whatever. And then he started talking. I got in my car, and he kind of stood in the way because I needed to back out and like turn a little bit. I couldn't just back straight out. So he kind of stood there between like the front end of my car and my door and like kept talking. And I mean, he
was going to get your attention, huh?
He was not playing, and he was funny, and he didn't have a belt on. So I was like, he asked him. I said, look, I don't date people that don't wear belts. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, because character. I'm not in, whatever.
Oh, right, the still in the cable thing.
So
I gotta get my character together.
And wearing your pants behind your knees and all that other kind of stuff. And he was like, oh no, I was rushing. I forgot my belt. He was crazy. I love belts. I got a belt collection, whatever. So he just kept talking.
Now he got a belt collection.
Right. He like belts.
Okay.
So I felt like it literally, I'm not exaggerating. It was like about 10, 12 minutes. And then he said something about he was doing some charity event or whatever. And then, that caught my attention. Like, oh, my gosh, that's so nice. Well, he said, oh, I got a flyer in the car. And when he ran to the car to go get the flyer, I was going to leave because, I really wasn't interested, but he was funny, but I was like, dang, that's rude. And I'm really trying to work on my, curtness.
Right.
So I just waited till he came back, whatever. I got the little thing. I was like, oh, that's nice. I asked him if he needed anything for the event because, could have donated some food or money or something. He was like, no, it's all straight, da-da-da, whatever. Blah. Okay, fine. So I gave him my number. I go to work. He calls. And he calls again. And he calls. But, I'm always busy. So finally, like a couple of days in, he was like, you real busy. Like, am I ever going to get to see you? And I was like, I just always got a lot going on, whatever. It's just like a busy time. I said, like, he said, what you doing today? He was like, I said, well, I have to run some errands or whatever. He was like, I'll take you.
Okay.
So I was like, but I was like, and it was snowing outside, whatever. And I was like, and I really don't like to drive in the snow anyway. And I'm like, all right, So I just had to go take some things back to the mall, whatever. So he came to pick me up, and that's another thing, because I usually don't tell people like where I live, but because of the weather and all, so here we go, messing up my plans. But so when we pulled up to the mall, I had to go into Macy's, and he was like, oh, while you're in Macy's, I'm going to run into North Face because I need, whatever he needed. And I was like, oh, okay. And I liked that because he wasn't clingy. You know what I mean?
Right,
he was just being like real regular. I was like, oh, that's what's up. So I went to Macy's, did what I had to do. I was finished. I went to North Face. He was trying on stuff or whatever, and I just waited. And so we got back to the car because that's all I had to do at the mall. And he was like, you don't want to get anything to eat or anything, whatever. And I said, well, you must be hungry because you
reeled you right on in with the food thing.
But let me tell you what he said, because hold on, let me get this straight. Because he said, so I said, well, you must be hungry because you keep talking about the food, whatever. And I was like, well, what do you want to eat? And he was like, well, what do you eat? And I was like, I'm with you. It doesn't matter. So he said, and this is exactly what he said. He said, Well, they have great crab cakes at Lamberti's.
Okay.
I don't eat at Red Lobster, but we can go to Red Lobster if you want to. I don't go to Applebee's, and I ain't never been to Olive Garden. And when I tell you, I fell in love with that man at that moment. Like,
right, because we all know the story about the Applebee's and the Red.
Oh my goodness, exactly.
Yeah.
He was winning. He was winning at that point. I think I was in love. I was like, it was all crazy. Like, I was like, this guy for president. I mean, what?
Right.
So, I mean,
I finally met a real one at the Wawa.
Exactly. Like, he's my dream man,
Mhm.
So, I was like, oh, he was like, why? Because you like Red Lobster, and his face was all tore up and everything. Like, But I was like, no, I don't. They have good drinks, but the food is terrible. You
was like, he was like, heaven, me and you, boo.
Well, it's not even bougie, but we like good food. When he said crab cakes from Lamberti's, I was like, oh my gosh, because their crab cakes are slamming. So, I was like, no. Well, he said, you know what? I know where I'm going to take you. I'm going to take you to one of my favorite places. He was like, they just got this dish that I love. He was like, and I am hungry, so we just going to go. It's in Philly. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we ride and whatever. We park on South Street. And he was like, well, we got to park here because there's never any parking where the restaurant is. So I was like, oh, no problem. So we were walking, and I was like, and he walked on the outside.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He walked on the outside. Now, I did have to say something about opening doors, but, all right. But he always walked on the outside. I never had to say anything about that. And so we're walking. We got closer, and I was like, are we going to Pietro's? He was like, yeah, you've been here before. I was like, oh, my God, like, this guy's a winner. Like,
right.
Ding, 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 ding. He is really a winner.
Wait, was this the guy that you text me, the Hollywood?
Yes.
Okay, this Hollywood.
This is Hollywood.
You know Hollywood from, because everybody might not know what we're talking about, but Hollywood is from Queen Sugar. You know that good man, Savannah? Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah,
that
him.
good man
it's
that
because in Hollywood is younger than Vi. I don't date dudes that's younger than me. Like, you can be a day younger, and I'd be like, But I'm trying to get out of my little comfort zone, just, be a little more open. So I was like, oh my gosh. So we went to Pietro's, and it's like I haven't been to Pietro's in a minute because when I worked in Philly, I used to go all the time. But now I have it. So then, of course, I wanted everything that I liked from there. And I was like, dang, I don't want to be like a fat McFadden.
Right.
To order everything. But,
Right.
So anyway.
Like, you get what you want. And you like, oh, okay. Give me number 7, 2, 4, and 5. Thank you.
Right. So I ordered like my specialty pizza and a salad and a dish. But anyway, it was cool. So we were like, so we were talking or whatever. The conversation really flowed, and he was like a nice guy. And I really I was really, I'm not kidding. I was really outside of myself in a free, no judgment zone.
Right.
Just like, what? It's just lunch. It's okay. You know what I mean? I was really, you would have been really proud of me. So
sounds like it. Cause...
Right. So, and it was cool. He dropped me off. Then he kept he called like, oh, can I see you today? And it was really, really cold outside. So, you just don't feel like going outside when it's cold and stuff like that. But then, things just took a turn for the worse.
Dang.
It's like, so a couple of days later, it was like, I was just like, you're not at work? Like, why do you keep calling me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, like, because he said this is what he did and stuff like that. And then I don't want to say he was lying, but things just weren't adding up. They just were not adding up.
Okay.
So, and he said he was from Camden. So I was like, oh, so I'm thinking like, Camden is a small city. Everybody knows everybody. So let me do a couple phone calls and see what's going on or whatever. Well, girl, Why did I do that? Like, it was like, like people was going bananas, like, oh my gosh, and like, where the hell did you meet him anyway? Like all this kind of stuff, and I was just like, okay, like, all right, well, and then it was like, oh, well, what do I do? Like, stop answering his phone calls, or
when you told me, when you first told me, because now, okay, I know who you're talking about now that you said Hollywood. When you first told me that what the people were saying about him, I was like, well, people going to say that anyway, because I feel like people have this, it goes back to does doing better make you better, that topic, when we talked about how people look at us and they like, oh, not what you think you my master now, but just thinking that you are a certain kind of person. But they forget, like, oh, you're not supposed to be dating this type of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're supposed to be dating the NBA player. You're supposed to be dating the Wall Street guy. You're not supposed to date the warehouse worker or the truck driver or whatever the case is. And the thing is like, you're attracted to who you're attracted to. You bond and you have energy with who you have energy with. It doesn't matter. Now, it matters what they do as far as, like, not doing nothing, like it sounded like my man was doing. But it doesn't matter on the sense of, like, are you the president of the company or do you work in the company? So when you told me, I was like, nah, people ain't going to be on it because they think you're not supposed to be dating a guy like this. But then
when you get a trusted source, when your source changes,
then
when you get you can't argue. You really can't argue that point. But even with that, and I told Hollywood, I said, look, if I deal with you, nobody can mess that up but you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody 100%. Can mess that up with you. And it's just important that, and so I asked him, and he was like, yeah, this and that. And I was like, well, my thing is, I asked him, like, this is what I heard, is this true? Is this what who you are, whatever? Because he gave me his government name, but everybody know him by another name, So, he was like, well, I'm not a bad person, and all that other kinds. And he's not. He really, like, first of all, he's not a bad person or whatever, and he articulates very well. But then when they was like, oh, that's him, he got the gift of gab, but he really ain't got nothing going on, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. So, but I just didn't know what was I going to do? Just stop answering the phone? And so I was like, but he was real with it. Like, okay, this is what you heard. I don't know exactly what you heard, but if you want me to stop calling you, I will. And that's when I told him. Then I felt bad, like, oh man. Right. And so that's what I said, like, well, the only person, if I deal with you, the only person that can mess that up is you. Like, just don't lie. Tell me the truth and let me decide what I can do. Because some things may be all right and some things aren't. So I did see him again one time after that, and then we were having a conversation. Now my conversation did change some. Because now I'm seeking, like, deeper things, a little more truth. It was less lackadaisical and more like, what's going on with your life? How's your future look? You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Which is so bad because you're not a person that's usually, like, lackadaisical. So when you found
I was really open. Yes, I was really open.
And
so,
then, man,
but when we start talking real life stuff, he couldn't like keep up with real life stuff. He could not keep up. And I was like, so he left, and I was like, yeah, like, what am I going to do, whatever. And I wanted to say, like, text him, like, take care. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, I didn't know what to say, right? But I didn't kind of know what to say, whatever. But I texted him. I was like, you be careful out there. And then he texted me back. He was like, it was very nice meeting you. I was like, oh, thank God. And I haven't heard from him since. So
you be careful out there, you hear?
Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye for now. Yeah, I mean, bye-bye. At least he had enough I don't want to say decency because that's the wrong word, but
I mean,
I guess he felt like
he's self-aware. He was just like, well, I don't know if he was self-aware because I don't know. First of all, it would have came out eventually, but if had I not fast forward into, you know, what it was, you know, it would have came out eventually. But I respect the fact that when he knew he was in over his head, he bowed out.
He just
He
bowed
was
out.
respectful.
So he is a don't date if you can't date. Like, he's a good example of
I don't think he's a don't date if you can't date. He's an example
maybe it's
of
a don't date. Yeah,
out of your league.
But go ahead.
Yeah. It's not. I don't want to say out of. No. You're right.
Yeah,
he's a don't date if you can't
date.
Be
out of your? Who could
be?
Out of, I mean,
he's a don't.
Nobody.
Right.
You could feel like nobody is out of your league.
Right.
Because I feel like
he
nobody
really,
is out of my league.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So he is a don't date if you can't date. He should not be out here trying to date women. And he kept saying, like, oh, I like women who are older than me because they're more mature. They got their stuff together. I ain't got to worry about this, that, whatever. And I'm like, are you looking at me like, because when I found out who he is, right. And I'm like, because I'm not that chick, you know, at all.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I know some women, older women, they want to feel young again and all this other kind of stuff. And they work hard to take care of these little boys, but that ain't me either. You know, so, and I was just saying, I was like, because I'm looking at him, and if you have all these, you know, he's very congenial and he's well-spoken, and if you have all of this stuff going on for yourself, then you could do something with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're working on something, then work on it and then date. Or if you can't, because you really can't date right now, you know, establish friendships or whatever. But these young people, I don't know what friendship means to them because they just think everybody's supposed to be getting it in all the time.
Right, and that's not even the young guys thinking like that because, like, I have somebody coming at me and they don't have anything. And I mean, here's the thing. Let me clarify that because it's not about things. And when I say don't have anything, I don't mean like, oh, you don't have a car, you don't have a roof over your head. I mean like you're in a transition. You're in a transitional period in your life. If you're in a transitional period in your life, newsflash, dating shouldn't be on your top priority list to do. Now, here's the thing.
Right.
I'm single. I said in the beginning of this podcast that I was going to get me a boyfriend, but I'm going to get the right boyfriend. I'm not just going to get any boyfriend. You know, the boyfriend that I used to have, me and him was solid. You know, I don't want to get nobody else that I ain't solid with.
Right.
With. So the thing is like, if you know that you're in a transition period in your life, you at you back at your mother's house, or you at your cousin's house, or you sleeping on a couch, or you renting a room, or like because you left your situation and now you in another situation, like hold off on dating. So that's more so where I'm at with the don't date if you can't date, because when he's coming at me, I'm just looking at him like, you don't have, what are we going to do? Because I don't want to get caught up in, like, you might be a really nice person. He's not a person I would date, but you might be a really nice person. And I said on the podcast, I talk to anybody. So I'm having nice conversations, like, funny conversations, because, hey, I'll talk to anybody, but not for it to go further because, again, you're in a transitional period in your life. If you're sleeping on your cousin's couch, you can't date me because you can't sleep on my couch. So my thing is like, what you want to date me for? Because it goes back to what you was talking about, your 5 C's. Have a crib, because I can't even come over your house because you sleeping on your cousin's couch. And here's the thing. You might not be sleeping on your cousin's couch forever. But until you get off your cousin's couch, that's when you should come at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you should come at me or anybody. Anybody.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't try to date anybody if you're in a transitional period. You should get yourself together before you try to seek love, because joining two worlds together in a relationship requires some things that you can't give right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, you should be focused more so on getting yourself together. Like, stop dating if you can't date. And don't ask me out on a date when you ain't got no plan because you can't date.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
It's just like I hate don't be this guy, and this goes to the don't date if you can't date. Don't be this guy. So what you want to do? I'm cool, whatever you want to do. Oh, I thought you was going to plan something. Did you? Like, come on, come to me with something real and concrete, like a plan of action. Words are words. Actions are actions. And I'm more of a person that goes off of actions. You could tell somebody you love them. You could tell them you care about them. You could tell them you like them. You could tell them they're pretty. You could tell them they're smart. You could tell them, oh, you got your master? Yeah, you my master now. You could say all kinds of shit. But you have to have a plan of action behind those words. Don't just tell me I'm pretty. Show me some stuff. I don't need to I hear that all the time. And that's not even on no conceited type stuff. That's just like my mother tells me all the time, I'm beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong. You have to have some kind of action. I just hate the person who comes to me that don't have no action. And I would like to report that I opened up my online dating again, right?
Oh goodness. Okay.
This is off the topic, but on the topic. And I was talking to a couple of people, and I'm like, you know what? Because my girlfriend, she was like, I just tell them to send me their number right off the bat. It's like, you interested in chatting? Send me your number, because I don't got time to be going on this app. So I was like, all right, I'm probably not going to say send me your number, but I'll probably give my number, or whatever. Because if they send me their number, I ain't going to call them. I'm being realistic.
Exactly.
So I'm talking to a couple of people. It's so much dead space air. It's like no kind of, you want to go out, you want to go. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah. They don't even have no combo.
Right. You don't even have a conversation. So, if you don't have a conversation on the phone or over text or whatever, then you're not going to date well, because we're not going to have anything to talk about. Again, don't date if you can't date.
I'm with you 100% on that. And, and it's more than just sleeping on your cousin's couch or, there's a lot of things. If you can't date, like if you're not able, if you don't know what to do, get some help. Like didn't you see Hitch? You saw Hitch.
And Google is real. It tells you any and everything that you want to know.
And it's free.
Just like it's free things to do while dating.
Right, and it really isn't hard. Like, I don't mind planning a date, but if you're interested in me, and, women are just like, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. Because when I had my god-awful online account or whatever, and they asked me what is the ideal first date or whatever, and I said a first date could be anything. It depends on the person, the situation, whatever. The first date could be to Home Depot or it could be to Hawaii. It doesn't matter. It depends on the person. Well, I mean, I've had someone take me to the Bahamas for the day. We
that's
flew down
wonderful.
there.
Listen, if you meet him, where is he at? And do he got a brother?
Well, I didn't like him. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here. For what? I didn't like him. And that's
let me ask you something. Wait, let me ask you something before you even continue. Would you date a person? This just got me thinking when you were talking about they took you to the Bahamas for the day. What about if you went out with somebody, right, and they took you on this great first date? Like, I mean, it was everything. And y'all had this great first date, and then you was like, oh, let's go out again. And he took you on this great second date and a great third date, but you really had no chemistry with him, but the dates were awesome. Would you keep dating him?
That happened to me once. It's not so much great chemistry. Like, it was a guy, he liked me. He didn't work at my job, but he was like on one of our community committees at the job. So he would have meetings there once a month or whatever. And so I started to come, and I saw he was always trying to talk to me. I really wasn't interested. So I would start coming later on the times that they had the meetings, hoping that I would miss them. But my boss was like, why don't you go out with him? But then, he's a nice guy. I mean, me and my boss, we were cool. And he was selling them like he was a stack of hotcakes. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, all right, I'll go out with him. And I went out with him, and we had great
conversation. I mean, great
Okay.
conversation. You know, and we went out, like, it was a month past, but then we went out again. And every time I think we went out a total of 4 times, but that 4 times spanned it, you know, probably a year or close to it. Every time we went out, we had a great time, great conversation, but I could not kiss him or anything because I just was not attracted to him at all. And he wasn't ugly. Remember,
So what did you keep
Red
going
Car.
out? Oh, Red Car. What did you keep going out with him for then? Like, do we as women just keep going out with the person because we're bored or?
No, he kept asking me. I'm just saying, it wasn't like I don't feel like I was leading him on, you know, but he would ask, and some months passed between every time we went out. And let me I'll let you in a little secret about me. Well, you probably already know, but I'm a kind of person, like, sometimes I can really like somebody, but not like that. And, like, I really like them, and I'm like, oh, wow, I wish I could find somebody for them. Because Red Car, I wanted to introduce him to Diane.
With one of our cousins.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was
I told
like,
you was like, why not? Why can't I? And I'm like, because he likes you. You can't.
I know, and that's what he said, because I told him. I did tell him. And he was like, yes, because I thought they would be great. And, like, he didn't even want to meet her. I was like, oh, man.
But because he likes you. You can't introduce someone to someone else when they're interested in you. Like, that makes absolutely no sense. I don't even know why you
I wasn't interested.
It doesn't matter. You're not interested in him. He's interested in you. You can't say, hey, date my cousin because I don't like you, and he is all into you.
Not because I didn't like him. I did like him. If I didn't like him, I wouldn't have introduced him to my cousin who I love.
No, you didn't like him in the way that he liked you.
Right. Well, that wasn't my fault. But I'm just saying, I always try to do, you know, I'm a solutions person. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And I come to the table with a solution. Like, it ain't me, but here's something similar. You know what I mean? It might be, I don't know. I don't know. And I did that. Yeah, and then remember the blind date that Keith hooked me up with? The blind date?
Yeah.
The guy that looked like Tony Dungy. Oh, my gosh. I still owe Keith for that one. But anyway, we had a great conversation. But see, I can converse with anybody. So, you know, with some half intelligence and stuff like that, we had a great date. And, you know, he was, like, really surprised when I didn't want to go out again. But what was I supposed to do? Like, I don't think this is going to work. Goodbye. No. We had a great time.
Well, I mean, you told the little Hollywood, be safe out there. You could have said that.
Well, I mean, I said thank you, and, you know, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
Yeah. I don't date people. I know when I was younger, I probably just went out on dates with people just because it was like, oh, it's a Sunday, it's nothing to do. You want to go out? Sure, I'll go out. But, like, now that I'm older, it's like I don't date just to, like,
for
I'm
no
not
reason.
dating. Well, I will date for no reason, but if I don't like you, like, I'll date someone who I have liked, just kind of like how you shoot the shit with somebody. You know, you just like, you know, just shoot the shit. And then we just happen to be going out on dates. Yes, but I don't go out with people. Like, I know a lot of people who go out just because it's like, well, I'm hungry, I'm going to just go. I'm not that kind of person. I can't sit across from someone and just pretend to be cool with it just because it's like, I wanted to get out the house.
Right. Well, I don't go because I want to get out the house. I go because, you know, I'm giving it a try.
I hear you. I just don't do that. I'm just saying, for me, I don't do that. I can't. While I could talk to anybody, when you're thinking about, I just don't like that. I just don't like that. Let's just go out just to go out. No, I don't like you. That's why I always say I'm not going on the internet dates. Like, they ask me out, and I'm like, I ain't going. Because
you do that, and you do that all the time. You do that.
But that's
I'm
because,
supposed to be there with sisters. I ain't going.
Yeah, I ain't going. But that's because I know that, like, I don't like you. And then, I mean, people surprise you. You might get out with somebody and you might, like, you could fall in love with them. It could be love at first sight. Who knows? But, like, over this internet site, I don't like you, so I'm not going. Yeah, but listen, Yeah, I'm not. So I need to get better with that too. Like, I don't want to be a don't date if you can't date type of person. Like,
Right. Like, I don't mind. I think that people well, of course, you know how I feel about online dating. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think people use that busy as an excuse, because you can meet people anywhere, i.e. the Wawa.
Yeah, at that Wawa. Right.
However, if I don't think there's anything wrong with, if you see somebody and you don't want the opportunity to pass, I think that's great, to introduce or whatever. And you can call and say, you can slow roll it if you want to get yourself together or get something done or whatever. It doesn't count everybody out. But if you know that your life is in shambles, what I mean?
Don't date.
Don't date. Like, don't date. And I also believe that, and I'm just men in particular, because some women do it, but less women do it less. They take some responsibility for other people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I can't expect a man to be truthful because they lie. You know what I mean? So kind of take some responsibility for people's feelings. People say, oh, you don't want to know the truth because this and that or whatever. Well, I lie because I care and all. Well, if you care enough to lie, get it closest to the truth as you can. So, I don't have to read all in between the lines and things like that. And
don't lie to me about the Instagram fame. I mean, the Instagram money or the Instagram lifestyle that you live in, and then you and again, it's not about things, but don't lie and say
about
that you
stuff.
got it all together, and then you get somebody into you, and then it's really like, oh, no, I sleep on my cousin's couch. Come on, my man. Like, you should have told me that from the beginning.
Exactly.
Let me make the decision on if I want to date you. That, again, goes to don't date if you can't date. We probably should have just talked about dating, period, in this topic, not don't date if you can't date. We probably should have just called it dating because, but again, don't date if you can't date.
But what about now I have to be careful because I don't want to call no names. Because what about the one who, I love you, you're everything, but I got to do this?
Okay, wait, is this somebody for me?
No, it was me.
Okay, wait, I love you, you're everything, but I got to do this. Oprah. Dang,
I really need to do this one.
Okay, because listen, I'm out of the loop. I'm almost feeling like call a name that's close to the name. Or give me a year, or give me something.
She's like Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. But see, the thing about with Oprah, that's what we'll name him. The thing about what Oprah is, I really think that Oprah has some challenges going on because
Oprah,
special needs, or he is like a serial killer with bodies in the back that he's about to eat. Because,
oh my gosh.
Because you can't tell me that you can't get it right like one time. You can't say that you really like somebody. They are like Oprah Winfrey to you. They are everything to you. I love you. I this, that, and the third. But then you never pursue the situation. Something is wrong with that. And it's something wrong with him. It's definitely something wrong with him. He is a don't date if you can't date prime number one candidate. And he's also a number one candidate for the sex style that's about to come out, because I think that's what he's doing in his life anyway. Like, I think that's crazy. How could you like somebody that much, had told all of their family about this person? You are like, you telling us about them, which is we're your family. You coming to gatherings, you like, yeah, it's all about you. It's just everything is about you. And I really don't think that it has anything to do with him having somebody else. like we've done the research on this. I don't think that it has anything to do with him having somebody else. This has to do with something
We got
going on with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Something, I mean, like, but I mean, at first, when I first found out about it, because I found out, you know, even that he liked me through other people, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that because I feel like because we cool, we real cool, we always been cool, whatever. I do not like people to like me on the sneak tip.
Right.
Don't, you know what I mean? Don't be
a lot of
trying
people
to
might like
take
you on the sneak tip.
I know, but I don't like that, because my thing is, what am I? If you all being sneaky about it, or not sneaky, but like, I don't know, and so what, you looking at me like it's an audition or something? You know what I mean? Like, oh, if she do this, then I'll pursue it. If she don't, then I won't. I don't like that. I just, something about
really
it.
That wasn't his thing.
Well, it was in the beginning.
Okay.
It was in the beginning, and So in the beginning, when I found out about it on Facebook, because I posted something on Facebook, and then other people, he's not even on Facebook, so other people that know us both were responding to the Facebook post, and somebody, you know, mentioned his initials, and then somebody else was like, oh, you know about that? And they was like, everybody knows about that, and this and that, whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Serial
so
killer.
I'm like, no,
serial killer.
what?
Everyone
right.
knows
so,
that everyone knows that he's secretly in love with you, but you. What the heck is going on?
Exactly. So I, because, you know, that's how I am. So I took some screenshots and sent it to him like, oh, you got something to tell me? And he was like, I was like, because, I mean, we always been cool, and he always, like, said little things, but I just thought it was like he banter kind of thing, you know, not no big deal. So I was asking him, and I said, well, you know, I didn't think that this was something, like, so serious. And he going to tell me, because, you know, he's funny. Like, he real funny. He going to tell me, he was like, oh, no.
Funny. All right.
Oh, no, this is serious. This is like, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown. I was like, yeah.
Yes, like I'm secretly in love with you. B, I secretly have a relationship going on with you.
Right.
That you don't know about, that everybody else knows about.
Exactly.
And B, you are secretly, in my mind, loving me too. And now I'm going to get around everybody, and I'm going to tell people that you love me. It's not a secret anymore. If that don't scream serial killer to you, I don't know what does. Now, here's the thing. I was taken up for this boy in the beginning.
You were.
I was like,
you
listen,
were. You was on
this
his
could be
team.
your husband. Don't block your blessing. Oprah is the one. You know, and this is what I noticed. Every time that I'm going to bat for somebody, they fail me.
Ditto.
Every time that I'm going to bat for somebody, they fail me. So what that tells me is I have to stop doing that, because they are failing me, and I am a winner. I don't like to lose, and they're making me look like a loser. You know what I'm saying? So
I know that's right. I know how you feel, Maya, because you know who's my great failure.
Oh, wow. Well, he was my great failure too, so it's okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still crushed. Oprah is a don't date if you can't date. You can't date because I don't know what's going on with you. You know, the serial killer, the sex doll, or somebody is taking up all of your time. So you can't date. Don't date if you can't date. You're the number one candidate for that. You can't. So don't. You know what I'm saying? And stop having secret relationships with me in your head that only you are privy to. Don't do that.
And telling other people, like, hello.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So people really think, like, you know, especially if they see us together or even in close proximity, they think like we're together. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I done made up this whole elaborate thing.
Exactly.
And oh, by the way, you know you're my girlfriend. Oh yeah, just had to put that out there.
Right.
Yeah, that's type time he on. It's like,
not even girlfriend. He told me, he was like, you know, and you know, to some people, you know, these friends, these family members, I do refer to you as my wife. Oh, okay. There's help for that. I'm just one. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You need to go to a group.
Mm-hmm.
They work.
Something.
Let me tell you.
Watch
But,
Hitch, do
listen.
something. Something.
Right.
I don't know. So
Right.
don't date if you can't date. If you're living on the couch, if you're sleeping on somebody's couch, you can't date. If you got to lie about who you are, you can't date.
Right.
If you make up stories in your head, you can't date.
Yeah.
Can't afford a coffee, you can't date. If Netflix and chill is your idea of a date, you can't date.
You can't date. Yeah.
If you
don't have enough money to take somebody out, you definitely can't date. But go ahead.
You definitely can't date. And if you have, because some dudes do this, like they have a few breezies that they date in at the same time. And let me just say, I don't think there's anything wrong with dating more than one person.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's what dating is.
Because you're dating. You're right. You're not committed to anybody.
That's fine. But a process. Dating is nothing but a process of elimination. I tell people this all the time. When you're dating someone, you should be dating more than one person, because the thing about it is that when you're dating more than one person, you can get a plethora of things that you might like. But what happens is the person that we spend the most time with, the person we have the most chemistry with, the person who we laugh the most with, the person who we could be vulnerable around, those are the people that you end up in a relationship with. But you ain't going to know that or even know what you necessarily like if you're not dating, if you're not dating different people.
Right. Also, if you're dating, like if you're going out with one person, because women have a tendency to fantasize, and that's why I'm so stuck on Eyes Wide Open, because we have a tendency to fantasize, and that's why so many people end up in situationships and things like that. So when you have all your energy on one person and, they introduce you to a good meal, hey,
right.
You know what I mean? You're doing all your fantasizing about that one person, and you don't see all the flaws and red flags and things. Not that it doesn't make you a bad person, and it doesn't make him a bad person. It's just some things don't always work out. So when one person is occupying all your fantasy time, it really makes it hard for you to see, what's really going on. So I don't think there's anything wrong with dating more than one person at a time. However, don't date more than one person at a time if you can't handle that. I don't want nobody calling me, nobody texting me, and you want to take this one out for lobster and steak, and then you want to go to McDonald's with me, and because that's, come on, don't do that either. Don't do that, because what I mean, that's obvious too. Like people, dudes kill me, like, and I think I get more offended with the fact that they think I believe these lies than the fact that they're actually lying. Because now because you think I believe them, now you think I'm dumb, and that irks me more than anything.
That makes that burns you up. You thinking that I'm dumb, and don't you know that even if you think that I am that dumb, I have people around me that aren't. I have brothers, I have uncles, I have cousins, I have friends, that are going to put me up on game.
Exactly.
Don't date if you can't date.
Don't date if you can't date. That's it.
That's what it all boils down to. So I think that, I think that we touched on the topic, and I think that we told the people what we think. Don't date if you can't date. So now it's time to get into our personal journals.
Ooh,
we love this part of the show because it really does help us. It really does help us, and it holds us accountable. So what do you have for your personal journal this week?
My personal journal this week piggybacks on my personal journal from last week. And remember I said how there was something on my vision board that I didn't want to take it down because I just want to be reminded that I put it there. But I tossed it out because it's not my responsibility. And that was my entire family healthy and happy. Now, I do want my entire family to be healthy and happy. However, it is not my responsibility to make my entire family healthy and happy. And not only is it not my responsibility, it's an impossible task for me. So things related to my entire family, I have committed to prayer. So northeast of that on my vision board is a
phrase, and it says, release the pounds. Now, of course, when I created the vision board, I was thinking weight loss. But there's
Right.
nothing on my board that says weight loss. It says healthy and happy. It says health makeover. There's a picture of a lady with, a nice skirt on with a slit, and her midsection is showing, looks cute. But it cuts off like right below her axillary. So you don't see a neck and a face or anything like that. But right above it, it says release the pounds. And I really feel like the pounds that I release is by releasing the burden of trying to be everything to my entire family. And I feel lighter. Everybody's still alive. Nothing is burned down. And I didn't have to come running to anybody's rescue this week.
Right.
And when I look at my vision board every day, and when it caught my eye, I was like, wow. So when you create these vision boards, or the Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. Like what you put down, these things really begin to manifest, and you really have to know what it is when it comes. So I'm very happy about that. I feel very light. I feel very happy. I am getting there, and I did release some pounds, and I might even lost a pound or two, but I did release a lot of pounds. Yeah.
I love
How
it.
about you? Yeah, thanks.
Well, I need to take a page out of that book myself, and that was a good one. I feel like that should be my personal journal as well. However, just to go off of what my personal journal was last week, I talked about not stressing as much. That's not going so well. That's not going so well. But we are going to continue to push forward with that, because that's like getting the boyfriend. It's a work in progress. All of these things are work in progress. But my vision, not my vision, I'm sorry, my personal journal for this week is it's not as deep. It's more so to stop self-diagnosing myself on the internet.
Oh my gosh, please.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of feeling anything wrong, or if someone tells me that they have anything wrong, I just go straight to the internet. So, I was in Jamaica, and while I was in Jamaica, I was eating all of this jerk sauce. I talked about that, right? And it made my tongue have a reaction. The peppers or something in the jerk sauce made me have almost like an allergic reaction on my tongue, right? So, of course, when it happened, I'm on the internet like, oh, my God, this is saying that I might have, like, throat cancer. I could have, like, mouth cancer. I could have HIV. I could have, like, because when you self-diagnose yourself on the internet, you got to go. So you know how Google comes up, right? Google comes up and it says like 7 things on the page, and then it says page 2. So you don't get down to like what it really could be to like the 7th thing on the first page. The first 6 things are horrible. The first 6 things are you're dying, you're dying, you're dying, you're dying, dying. And then the 7th thing is, oh, you probably had an allergic reaction. Just take some Benadryl and you'll be fine. Right. So I don't get down to the 7th. I'm 6. I'm 1 through 6 all the way. So automatically I'm like, oh no, something's wrong with me. This is not looking good, right? So because of that, it makes my stress level go to 100, because now I'm thinking like I'm in the mirror. I can't even concentrate at work. I'm getting up from my desk. I'm going in the bathroom, shining a flashlight in my mouth, saying, do I see any sores? What is going on? Let me take 70 pictures of my tongue. I went to the doctor twice because of it. My doctor is looking at me like, girl, you probably need to go see a shrink more than you need to be in here seeing me. And I was telling her, I said, it's because I diagnosed myself on the internet. And it's gotten so bad that my mother, every time I call my mom and I'll be like, oh, let me tell you what happened. My mom says, what did the internet say?
Right.
Because I know you went on there. What did the internet say you had? So that is my personal journal for this week and for all eternity. I want to stop self-diagnosing myself on the internet. I know that I could get there. I'm not there yet, because when I get up tomorrow morning, if I got a crook in my back, I'm going to go on the internet. So again, it's a work in progress. Help me out, y'all.
Please help her, because even yesterday I called like, I'm going to go to bed. I'm not feeling good. I got this little cough. And she was like, oh, my gosh, you better do this because, you can get bronchitis. And I'm like, man, I didn't went from but I don't have bronchitis, Maya. I don't. I have a little cough. I'll use my inhaler. I'll be fine.
Okay.
Even if I have a cold, I'll get some rest. I'll be fine. It's viral. I don't need any antibiotics. I don't have a fever. People get colds all the time. But
Listen,
you
I'm looking
just
out
go
for you.
from
I'm looking out for you. Okay.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate you looking out. But I don't have bronchitis. So please stay off of WebMD. I mean,
yes,
you should be, the WebMD sponsors, you should know them by heart, because, my goodness,
they are getting a lot of my time these days, especially the older that I get. So that is my personal journal. I want to stay off of the internet, self-diagnosing myself, and I think that, I think that I could do it. I'm going to really try hard to focus on it. So, so that's it.
That's it.
So that wraps up the show this week. Listen, let us know what you think about our topic this week. What are your ideas of dates? Good dates, bad dates? Let us know. Like, do you have a don't date if you can date story? We want to hear about it. You can leave us comments. You can send us an email. Hit us on all social media platforms. We could be found at We Did That Shit on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Again, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at We Did That Shit. It's one word. Find us, talk to us, let us know how you liking the show. Let us know about this week's topic. Let us know, do you diagnose yourself on the internet? Because I'm very curious to know who does that, if I'm the only one. And also send us any questions that you might have about the show, anything that you want us to talk about, anything, to our email. We can be found at wedidthatshit@gmail.com. That's wedidthatshit, one word, @gmail.com. And I could be found on Twitter at MyMy13. That's MYMY13.
And I'm at Bibiamina. That's BIBBIAMINA.
Yeah, so let us know. Listen, and don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to subscribe to the show. We need our listeners up. We need our subscribers up. Rate us. Leave us a comment. You'll only be helping us out. Don't forget to subscribe. We are on YouTube. We are on iTunes, Stitcher, Castbox. Wherever you can find a podcast, we are there at We Did That Shit. Look us up, y'all. Let us know how you liking the show. And we'll be back this time next week.
Remember, be great this week. Do that shit.
We Did That Shit podcast is produced and edited by Selena Singleton and brought to you by Wonderful Me Media. Wonderful Me Media. What's wonderful about you?